and get that top spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got Wolfpack here, Troy Hohman, who was starting the year at 125 pounds for the Wolfpack, and he had a ranked win coming up to 133. And honestly, Hohman's the type of guy who's incredibly scrappy. He's the type of guy that you'll put him out in the match and he's going to wrestle hard for a full 7 minutes. And those are the type of guys you want in your lineup. So, guys who compete with that type of intensity, they usually find themselves in every match unless someone's truly just that much better. And Troy's the type of guy who's put himself in a position to win every single match he's been in, despite not having an undefeated record. And so, he's on the backside, but hopefully he can pull this out. And I'm a little biased. That'd be great for NC State. But, Priest is a good wrestler as well, so this should be a good match.
I think when you hoist a national championship banner for one's alma mater, you're allowed to be a little biased when it comes to that. That's my personal opinion.
No, I appreciate that. Thanks for the support, so I don't look like a crazy guy.
But he's got a tough matchup here with Priest at 141. This is going to be challenging. And again, it goes back to keeping them off balance, but also staying to the scouting report a little bit. You have to keep them guessing, but also go with the normal attack plan. It's never easy to execute, as you know, once you're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you think about the psychological aspect of the sport, too. When it comes to postseason, right, everybody wants to win. You want to win a conference championship. You want to win a national championship. And when that opportunity gets taken away, when you lose on the front side of the bracket and you get sent to the consolation rounds, sometimes it's difficult because you didn't come for that, and so that can be a little discouraging, and sometimes it's hard to get up for those matches and your energy might not be the same. And so you have to figure out how to basically pull up your bootstraps and get ready to go again and come with the same intensity that you would have had if you were still on the top side.
We're still looking for the first points of this match at 141. Hohman and Priest. Still a minute left. So kind of feeling each other out.
Nice drag opportunity there by Priest. And Priest was doing a good job taking ground, trying to get Hohman to the edge. And obviously Hohman did a great job circling back. And now he's the one who's got Priest on the edge. And what I'd like to see here from a wrestler who's in this type of situation is you want to pressure forward. I think for me personally, the tactic or the strategy here is continue to control the hand fight, pressure forward, get him to the edge, and make him a little bit uncomfortable. Try and overwhelm him and force maybe a bad shot that could create an opportunity for you to run the corner, maybe a go behind. So that's what I'd like to see from these guys. But now you're seeing some offensive opportunities, a little bit more action, which is great at the end of the period. And that's important because if you score at the end, that changes the momentum of the match.
Absolutely. And it's those last couple of seconds. Sometimes, like you said, in the prior match, you come in, you're locked in, and you're ready. Even when there's 9-10 seconds left, it can be the difference between a win and a loss.
Absolutely. And it's huge, too, because let's say you give them a score with 10 seconds left in the first period. It doesn't give you a ton of time to escape. So rather than being a 3-1 type of score going into the second period, it's 3-0, which is that 1 point makes a huge difference when it comes to the third period.
Certainly. No, there's no doubt about it. And we're still scoreless here so far. 141, Hohman and Priest.
Oh no, here we go. Good wrestling here. Hohman trying to wrestle. Priest doing a good job.
Almost had those shoulder blades on the mat for a second.
Wow, way to wrestle. Good intensity here by both guys. Ton of effort.
They've ratcheted it up in the second. And now here come the points, 2-1.
That was big. I mean, that really could have dictated a whole lot. I mean, if Hohman would have given it back points, that would have been. You don't want to be sitting in a situation like that going in the second period. So great job for him, continuing to fight, get off his back, and honestly working for the reversal.
What has gone into that first period where there was really not nearly as much action as there's been in about 40 seconds here? They want to just hit it harder in the second?
Yeah, so typically in the first period, you got two type of guys. You got one guy that wants to pull the trigger and just letting loose right away. And then sometimes you have guys that are trying and they're a little bit more tentative. Sometimes, too, if you're on the backside, there's you lose, you're done for the day. So there's a little bit more risk involved, a little bit more pressure because you don't want to be out of the tournament. And so guys tend to be a little less risky, you know what I mean? Sure. Because if I lose again, I'm done for the day. So sometimes that plays a role into it as well. But these guys definitely started to open up as the match has kind of gone into the second period. Hohman with another takedown here. Beautiful shot, by the way. Great finish.
That's a big takedown to give him a 5-1 edge, and here it is.
Great job. And notice how he's keeping his shoulder tight here, and he doubles off. Typically in this situation, if I'm the defensive guy and I'm Priest, I want to create space and separation between me and Hohman's shoulder. That allows me to move my hips, readjust my position, and continue to defend. But Hohman did a great job staying glued to his hips, didn't allow him any space to move, and did a great job securing the finish. Here he goes again, staying incredibly tight here. Now, Priest is doing a good job. He's got a cross lock, and Hohman, beautiful opportunity. Great wrestling by both guys.
Able to escape was Priest. Rewarded with the point, 5-2. Waning moments, second period. Hohman with that takedown, the difference so far. Final couple seconds. We know they're valuable, and they're content to pack it in for the next period.
That's big for Hohman. Going into the third period with a 5-2 lead.
They'll look to try and finish it off, and for Priest, try and rally. At 141.
I'd like to see Hohman work hard here on top. Sometimes that can be a momentum killer. You know, if you can ride a guy out for a full period, it takes away a ton of confidence. One, it requires a ton of energy, but it really does a good job shifting the momentum of the match.
Priest gets another point, drawing a little bit closer.
And the tough part about that is, from a tactical standpoint, the longer you can keep him down, the less time he spends on his feet. And that means the less opportunity he's got to work for a takedown. You let him up, or he does a great job escaping like he has, he's got a lot more time on his feet to try and find that score that's going to either get him the lead or tie the match. In this situation, it's what's going to give him the lead.
You can see the intensity. You can see the hustle from both of these guys. Just at that last toe on the mat. And another point for Hohman. Now 6-3. If you're Priest, how do you try and salvage this?
You know, so one takedown ties the match and sends it to overtime. And if I'm Priest, you got 1:15, and if he knows what the clock is, you got to start your sprint here. Because typically some guys wait until about 30 seconds to start the sprint, but most guys can kind of weather the storm for 30 seconds. You start your sprint a little bit earlier. You're typically about a minute left. And if you're active that entire time, hopefully the guy's fatigued enough, his position starts to get compromised, and you find more chances and more opportunities to hopefully win the match.
So I'm hearing that you started your sprint with about a minute left if you were ever in that situation where you had to.
Typically. Sometimes I started a little later, and that's when it didn't work out for me. But the times that I did start it early, it ended up working out. And man, I tell you what, fatigue definitely plays a huge role in these matches late in the third period. That's what I love about wrestling. It's about digging deep. It's about getting tough, and it's about overcoming adversity. And it's just as much mental as it is technical.
Priest able to get 3. The takedown ties it up. Just like you said, he started the sprint, and now we're tied at 6.
Yeah, unfortunately for NC State, you know, it's not what I want to see, but as an athlete, you know, I got to commend Priest. He's doing a great job. He's hustling. He's really, really working hard. And when you do that, typically things end up going your way.
What's going through Hohman's mind right now, having just blown the 6-3 lead? It's tied. How can he bring it home?
Urgency. I got to get out. I got to get out. And if I'm him, I'm continuing to move as much as I can. You can't think about what the score is. You can't think about how I just gave up a takedown. You just got to continue to move on. You got to have short memory and work for the next best thing. Keep kicking. Keep kicking.
Here comes the sprint to the finish.
It looks like this one's going into overtime. Right. We got ourselves a match.
A terrific one at that. It looked like Hohman was in control early. Priest battled back. He gets the takedown. And now here's some overtime.
This is what wrestling's all about, man. You're in the backside of the bracket. Loser goes home for the day. And now we're in overtime. And this is where the stakes are really high. these are the type of matches that I feel like fans really enjoy getting to see. This makes me think of, NCAA Blood Round. It's very similar.
It's the conference championships, the constellation bracket. As you said, win or go home.
See guys being a little bit more tentative here. Not as much activity or intensity.
Priest changed that for a moment.
If I'm Hohman, I want to control elbow on the far side. See how his left hand's down? If I can control Priest's elbow, he's doing a good job on the right side. And I want to work up to my feet if I can. Get my head up, find space, get back to neutral. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time underneath somebody, because the longer you spend down there, the more they have time to think about, what can I do to try and create an opportunity to get points on the board? And for me, those short offensive positions where I found a lot of scoring opportunities. Hohman over here trying to convert.
Hohman and Priest.
Wow, we got an incredible scramble here. Hohman's got to get height.
And there it is for Priest. He comes from behind with a takedown and pulls out the win.
Wow, great job for Priest. I mean, he wrestled hard. He didn't give up. He continued to stay diligent. And typically when you do that, matches tend to go your way. Heartbreaking for an NC State alum like myself, but you got to give credit where credit's due.
It's the agony of defeat for Hohman. As you said, both athletes, they wrestled hard until the very end, and just victorious in the last moment is Priest.
You feel for these athletes in moments like this. I know what